Hey guys, this is Aegis, and it's time for a study break. So here's a game between Nova and Isis. Well, this is Atlas 1. Isis is playing on this account, and it is a diamond level game. Of course, Isis is not Grandmaster. He wishes though, I bet. He is High Masters. So he's playing Terran over here against a diamond Protoss player, and basically, I was standing behind him this game, and I told him that the only unit that he should make, aside from a couple of units to stay alive at the beginning, is a ghost. So essentially, he's playing a mono battle. He's going to be walling off the front over here. And let's take a look at APM tab. So we do see about the same thing for both players, actually. Well, the average is a lot higher for our Terran player, but in any case, we'll go back to the production tab, and over here our Protoss player is walling off with his first pylon. Generally, I don't like Protoss players to wall off against Terran. It's not good because Marauders can just stand over here and kill off your buildings at the front, but Nova is going to decide to wall that off. Out over here, Isis is going to be throwing up his first barracks. Probe will get in here and perhaps do some harassment. Looks like Noah will go on a patrol, and there's the SCV immediately chasing after the probe just to make sure. And over here, the first gas is also on the way, knowing that he has to go into ghosts sooner or later. And over here, Nova is going to be throwing up his first gas. And Gateway coming up at the front. He's going to need that second pylon. And he's also not chrono boosting, and there's a little lapse in probe production. Always stacking probes up is not a good thing. It's okay in the beginning, but something that he will want to watch in the future. Gas is complete now, and guys should be getting into that as soon as possible. There's the gas being mined by Isis, and he's also got a tech lab on the way. Another supply depot going to be spotting in the corner. The probe is trying to hide over here. We'll see if Isis does notice that. And there's his scout headed into Nova's base. He's timed this out pretty well, knowing that the first stalker will not be out until about the, 4-minute mark. So there's the cybernetics core coming up, and over here Nova's still scouting around the inside of his base, finally chrono boosting out a couple of probes. A Reaper is on the way. Did I tell him to go Reapers first? I don't quite remember. I guess I may have told him to go Reapers into Ghosts, which is a really bad build, actually. There's another barracks coming up, and somebody's got to have killed that probe. I don't know where it is. There's the probe continuing to scout the inside of Ice's base. So I guess he didn't notice that the probe was still there. And there's the Reaper going to be able to clean up that one probe. And yeah, I guess I take that back. I did tell him to go Reapers into Ghosts, because I think I now remember seeing that he was trying to do some damage. We'll see if he's able to do any, as clearly I do not remember the details of this game at all. There's another 50 energy coming up on that command center. We'll be able to drop a mule real soon. Nova building a couple of those stalkers right now. He is rallying them into his base in anticipation of this one Reaper headed up into his main, and we'll see if he's able to do any amount of damage here. The two stalkers positioned quite well, actually. So Isis is going to try to hop in from this backside, and it looks like that stalker will be able to take a couple of shots at that Reaper. And oh no, that Reaper does get taken out, but more Reapers on the way for Isis, because that is absolutely the correct response to be having here, and he's got one Marauder. I was trying to convince him not to build that. I think I remember saying something to him about that. Told him that Marauders are actually absolutely terrible against Protoss, and there's a cancel on some building. Another gateway on the way, a Robo now coming up for Nova. Still not spending that chrono boost. I really don't like how he's not making probes. He needs to continue making those probes unless he's banking on some big one-base push in the immediate future, which is not in the immediate future because that Robo is still on the way. Scan going down to see exactly what's up. More Reapers on the way for Isis, and not producing for a bit here. Should be seeing a command center coming up. There's a command center on the way for Isis, and there's the first Ghost Academy. And when I say first, I mean Nukes. So there's over here Nova warping in those warp gates at the 7-minute mark, and there's the 3 Reapers out in the field now, 3 at a time coming out of those 3 barracks back at home. Command center will be headed out for the natural expansion real soon. Bunker and additional supply depots coming up at the front, walling it off against any sort of zealots. So that's a good thing to be doing over here, especially with the bunker backing it up. We'll be able to take shots at those stalkers if they try to come up to the front. And over here, Nova warping into more and more stalkers. Ice is building up quite a number of Reapers right now. He's got 7 out on the field. Another one just did pop out, and he's got cloaking on the way for those ghosts. And we should be seeing ghosts coming out for Ice's real soon. And there's that pack of Reapers headed across the field. I guess there's only 6. And over here, more stalkers up on the edge. Nova doing a pretty good job against this build over here. He's only got his observer now on the way, and Isis is going to be forced to back away from that ledge. And I remember telling him to try to check up the front, but I don't think he actually does it. He just positions his Reapers over here to see exactly what's going on. And basically, as of this moment, Nova is being forced to stay inside of his base. With the threat of all of those Reapers coming in and one-shotting these buildings. Actually, I kind of like this build now. And over here, ghosts are now on the way. Cloaking is finishing up, and the first engineering bay is coming up. And there's the Reapers trying to do some damage up at the front. Looks like trying to pick off a couple of those sentries. Scan going down. Oh no, sentries going down. Force fields coming down. But it looks like that will be playing against those zealots. Another stalker being warped in, and Ice is going to be moving in here trying to shoot down a couple of these buildings and pylons, and probes. There's the stalkers surrounding from all sides, killing off all of those Reapers. That was an expensive investment there. And now Nova will be free to move out, especially without any Reapers to harass. So I guess as part of this build, you'd want to keep those Reapers alive as long as possible, keep the threat of killing off a ton of probes alive for as long as possible. And there's the Ghost Academy with the finished cloaking, and more ghosts coming out for Ices. And he's going to be hard pressed to hold this push off because I told him he can only build ghosts, and all of these units are headed across the field. He sees it now with his SCV, and this is the moment when he was sitting there saying that he probably is not going to be able to clean this up. 2 additional bunkers coming up in the rear. Too bad you can't EMP out of those bunkers. Looks like he's going to continue to throw up supply depots up at the front. A Nexus is now on the way for Nova. And I believe Isis thinks he's going to push, but it looks like there's a Nexus on the way for our Protoss player, and that is quite a ways behind Isis' command center. And over here come the stalkers up at the front. There's that one Marauder, and the SCV's coming up to the front to repair as well. The Ghost loading them up, and it looks like the Marauder is being forced to retreat. A couple of these supply depots will fall, and a nuclear missile is also on the way for Isis. He does get supply blocked, so he's going to be hard pressed to make more units as well. The Ghost coming up to the front, trying to shoot down at these Immortals. How much damage does a Ghost do anyways? Looks like it's 10 damage, so the Immortal Shields will not be activated, but it does not matter as Ghosts shoot so slowly. And there's the missile turret coming up for Atlas 1, and there's the Observer checking up at the front. Nova does not notice that there's a missile turret, and he will not pull that Observer back, so that Observer will soon fall to this one missile turret. Isis Ghost moving out to check things out. He's building a lot of supply depots. They just finished, so he will be able to continue building units. Another command center is also on the way with that glut of money that he built up due to not being able to build anything for a while. There's the factory floating up to the front. He will not be needing that. And there's another barracks coming up. More and more ghosts pouring out of these barracks. So his army is going to be absolutely tiny. Nova over here sitting back with a couple of stalkers as well as a couple of Immortals. He's got another Observer on the way. He's also getting the +1 ground weapons at a forge. He's getting up a cannon in the rear as well. Looks like a ghost cloaked trying to move in through the front, but the observers do spot it, so the nuclear missiles will not be used yet, but another Ghost Academy is on the way. Another 2 Ghost Academies are on the way, and another nuclear missile is being built. Factory going to be spotting in the middle, and another observer headed across the field with that one missile turret cleaning up the first one. Starport is also on the way for ICES. I told him that if he wants to transition to a unit, it has to be battle cruisers. I remember saying that, but I don't exactly remember if he actually did it. A scan going down to see exactly what's going on. Nova building a cannon. ICES moving to the front with a Ghost. It does have a nuclear missile armed, so he may be deciding to nuke that one cannon. A nuclear missile is being launched, and it looks like Nova is going to be pulling back his army, making sure that it does not get hit by that nuclear missile. But it looks like the observer coming up to the front, that observer will get hit, and the observer does get cleaned up. So 2 kills for that one. Ghost, another nuclear missile being launched, and Nova moving a couple of those stalkers up to the front. Will he get that Ghost? I don't think so. The nuclear missile will land. Is he going to have his army in that nuclear missile? Looks like a scan going down, and ICES will not hit anything except for that one cannon. 2 nukes for a cannon and an observer, and I think maybe a stalker. And the Ghost trying to move to the back, but the cannon is in position, so that Ghost will fall. 3 kills for that Ghost, not getting up to a commander. Very sad for that one Ghost. More Ghosts moving across the field for ICES now, and more nuclear missiles coming up. He's got a planetary fortress at his 3rd. This is absolutely necessary, because what else are you going to defend it with? That came out weird. Marauder headed across the field for his suicide mission, and Ghosts repositioning, as well as a medevac drop full of Ghosts for the high ground, and it looks like there is a cannon in position, so it's going to be really hard to do any amount of damage. ICES does see the cannon, and it looks like he will pull that medevac back. More observers popping out for Nova, and the Ghost being dropped over here, and a scan going down. The Ghost gonna be forced to try to run away, but that's not gonna happen. They do snipe the observer is still alive. It's just not following this army. So it looks like ICES will be moving forward to trying to snipe those 2 observers, but it looks like it will not happen. And Nova being continuously held back inside of his base, building more and more gateways. His army is getting quite frightening, especially for what ICES has in terms of for an army. He's just got Ghosts, and those do not do so well against Stalkers. Another command center on the way over here, as well as another one constructing in the bottom corner. Going to be spending continuously that huge glut of minerals, and more medevacs being produced by ICES, and he's got 5 or 6 nukes in his bank. Actually, no, that's only 4, so he needs to get a little bit of use for that. Where's the nuke coming down? It looks like ICE is nuking from this side over here. More nuclear missiles falling down. Will he be able to do any amount of damage? Looks like the Ghost's gonna be able to kill a couple of probes here, maybe. Looks like that Ghost does have 3 kills. Another nuclear missile will be landing on that cannon. Cannon does go down. The gateways take a little bit of damage. Photon cannons continuously being built. It looks like that Ghost will fall. Another nuclear missile does land over here. This Ghost has 10 kills now, so that's not too bad. Another cannon being built over here for Nova, and that observer trying to get over here to kill off that one Ghost. And it looks like ICES will be forced to back up over here, or that Ghost will simply die off, get killed off, and there's that Ghost trying to cloak and run away. That Ghost will not survive. And ICES continuing to build up his army, 126 food now. And our Protoss player is banking 1,000 minerals now, not playing too bad, especially with all of this harassment. So he does have his 3rd base coming up, but ICES securing his 4th and 5th. Couple of SCVs should be transferring over here sooner or later. There's the 2 SCV transfer, another planetary fortress coming up for ICES. Scan going down to see the positioning on that army. And back at home, continuing to pump out plenty of those Ghosts and a ton of these nuclear silos, or Ghost Academies. They used to be called nuke silos. And Atlas 1 moving across, or Ice is moving across the field with another 2 Ghosts, trying to keep Nova from attacking him, as he will need to max out on Ghosts before any amount of damage can be dealt. And it looks like Isis will lose those 2 Ghosts without doing too much damage. And another nuclear missile being launched by Isis somewhere. And there it is, carpeting his base. When did he get those Ghosts inside of the main? Totally missed that. Looks like those missiles will land and kill off a couple of these buildings, or at least a couple of these pylons. It looks like the one Colossus getting inside of the main, and Nova is severely supply blocked because of that. That one medevac getting killed off as well. And that's the advantages of using nuclear missiles. He did not get any probe kills, unfortunately. Ice is continuing to build up his force of Ghosts. 6 more nuclear missiles on the way. Now transferring a couple of those SCVs out. He's going to need to mine these gas geysers full time in order to make sure that he can continue to make those Ghosts and nukes. Mules now being dropped at that 5th base. More gases coming up for Nova, and he's building up a really powerful army. Another nuclear missile coming up. Looks like the observers in tow will be able to clean up that one Ghost, and the second Ghost trying to retreat as quickly as possible. 2 more Ghosts coming up to the front, and nuclear missiles being launched on those gateways. Will Nova's army get back in time? I do not think so. And there are no cannons in range of those Ghosts as of the moment. Looks like those 2 nukes will land, killing off at least these 2 pylons. Looks like the gateways fall as well. Nova getting 1 depowered cannon over here. Another nuclear missile being launched on the ramp over here as well. Ice is doing a pretty good positioning over here. Looks like Nova is going to be going for the counterattack. If you look on the mini-map, and the nuclear missiles will land, kill off a couple additional buildings over here. More and more nuclear missiles being landed, and the 5th base is being attacked. Looks like that orbital command will fall. Can Isis actually defend? There's not that much of an army over here, considering that it is almost 100% Ghost. Looks like that one orbital command will barely get away, but it looks like it will burn down as well. The Ghost continuing to launch nuclear missiles all over Nova's bases. Another nuclear missile being launched over here. Nova's army not in position to deal with it, and the probes being forced to pull off the line. And the nuclear missile will land over here and here. There's the land, and over here as well. Is there anything else being killed off? It looks like over here Nova is just confused at what exactly to do. And a couple of SCVs gonna get roasted over here. Ice's army is supposedly larger, but it's just made of Ghosts, so he's gonna need some perfect EMPs, as well as possibly a couple of nukes to be able to clean this up. Another nuclear missile being launched, pylons being reconstructed to repower these gateways, and our Protoss opponent, sort of, Protoss player, doesn't have much of an answer as of this moment. More nuclear missiles being launched. This Ghost has 47 kills, and another nuclear missile being launched over here. Nova is basically nothing mining as of the moment. And a Ghost does get killed off inside of the main, but this nuke looks like it will land, and more pylons being killed off. That Ghost will uncloak and begin shooting away at things. And over here, I think Nova's only chance is to actually counterattack. He's got so many Ghosts out on the field, but still it does not look like it's enough to clean up this force over here, especially with that one Colossus in the rear backing things up, and especially because you can't snipe Colossus. There's a planetary fortress being constructed over here. I hear more nuclear missiles being launched, but I have no idea where. Guess maybe inside of the main. Over here, nuclear missiles being dropped. It looks like that will land. Kill off an observer, always a good trade. And over here, that Ghost with 1 kill. Of course, that one observer. And a Nova repositioning his army over here. What he just needs to do is try to attack into this. And it looks like these 2 cannons will sustain a little bit of damage. Just to the shields, though. And that will be repaired back up eventually. And there's the factory trying to back up over here. Nuclear missiles being launched from the high ground. Will he get any amount of these units? any kill on these units would be good for Ices, as he will need to kill off some of these units in order to stay alive. He's got so many ghosts, but this is not a good army against what Nova has. He does kill off a couple of these units, as well as do some shield damage, and Ice is trying to back up over here. The ghosts will not be able to cloak to get away. Actually, no, they will. All observers seem to be dead, and the Protoss army is funneling into this one planetary fortress. And Ice is in a pretty good position if he just fights by that planetary fortress, allow the planetary fortress to kill off a couple of these units. And Isis is just not going to engage this army in a direct fight. That planetary fortress will fall if he does not do anything about that real soon. And there's the Ghost coming forward, and Nova has left the game. And it looks like Isis is going to stay in here and try to do a little bit of damage to these forces. Ghosts now cleaning everything up. And yeah, so there's the Ghost landing more and more nuclear missiles over here. How many kills was that? I guess it doesn't do any kill counters after the game is over. And the replay is now complete, so a pretty nice game here. Just going pure Ghosts against a Diamond level player. So I guess you now see the difference between a Masters League player and a Diamond League player. And I hope you enjoyed that. I'll have more games coming up after the week of exams next week. So I'll see you guys after that.